All right, we're here live, guys, for an episode of REKT Vision, live from the Real Vision Crypto Gathering here in Miami. Farokh got an invite, VIP.
Dude.
Everyone seems to know you, even though I'm here every single week.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's great to have you back on. We had you on, I think, about a month, just before Christmas, right? There was a lot more hope, it felt like, at that stage.
Yeah,
Well, I guess it was still a bit mixed. We've had another bit of a mixed week, I would say, in crypto, again this week. We had some headlines around Greenland, some headlines around Japanese bond yields, everyone trying to work out why crypto continues to be underperforming all these safe haven assets. What's been your feeling over the last week, and also being here this week, being here the last couple of days?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for hosting me. It's nice to
I know. Normally you're hosting me.
Exactly. It's nice to be your guest of honor today.
Yeah.
You know, it feels special. Shout out to Crypto Gathering, of course.
We got these.
We got. Listen, a nice cold.
These are incredible.
Moon crush. Shout out to OSF and REKT drinks. But big shout out to Real Vision. Obviously, super happy to be here in Miami. I haven't been to the States in like months. I was just realizing this, and so Raul got us back over here for the gathering, which is super awesome. Great people. I mean, yeah, it's been a weird month, right? This month is like, we're like, what, just only Jan 23rd?
Yeah.
It feels like January 75th. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had that breakout. It felt like it was all gearing up.
You and I were ready. Like
it was all gearing up. Bitcoin was approaching 100K. Ether, like it was going to go to 4K. Solana was at like 145.
It was edging.
And then Sunday night, me and you live in Europe, so I think we both went to bed. And when I woke up, it was like all hell had broken loose. There were some headlines over the weekend, obviously around Greenland, ahead of Davos this week. And then we'd also seen like Japanese bond yields creeping higher, but they started to move very aggressively at the US market open. And it really spooked things. Bitcoin dropped about 10%. ETH and Solana dropped about 20% at one time. Although they've since stabilized, and today they're in a slightly better footing. What we did see is precious metals again, all hitting all-time highs. So silver, I think, hit 100 today. Gold breaking out to 4K, 5K even, sorry. Yeah, 5. And like platinum, palladium, all these other precious metals moving very, very aggressively. Do you think that's a worry now? Just like everyone's just moving on slightly?
I had a tweet about this yesterday, and it was my first thought in the morning, which is kind of, you know, I'm a perma bull. I'm always positive, but I do have to, you know, operate in this space, right? We also employ 45 people in this industry, so I have to have my finger on the pulse. And I was like, well, we wanted to build this like Web3 gaming and metaverse only for Roblox to be the just undefeated #1. We wanted to build this digital gold narrative only for gold to continue to make new highs, while Bitcoin and stuff continue to make new lows, right? Then we wanted to build this altcoin narrative, and now we're tokenizing the entire New York Stock Exchange, right? So why would I buy an altcoin when I can buy, now thanks for Hyperliquid actually, HIP3, I could buy gold, silver, copper, and a ton of stocks directly in Hyperliquid. So why would I buy this 10th L1 or 50th L2, right? And so it makes me think a little bit about the future of our space. Obviously I remain bullish and positive about it. I would love to see some of that rotation from gold, silver, palladium, copper, etc., into risk assets like crypto. But it's clear now more than ever that crypto is not a safe haven in the eyes of traditional finance, etc. Because if it was, then the price would be following the narrative. And the truth is that despite billions of dollars of buying pressure on Bitcoin and Ethereum in the last few weeks, the first few weeks of January, there was more sellers than there were buyers.
Yeah. I think it's a real thing. Like the group chats that I'm in, everyone is suddenly able to buy all these other things with their crypto.
Which is good.
And it is, a lot of them are choosing to buy that over some of the crypto, even though the use case is clearly going up massively. Like you said, Hyperliquid feels as though they're seeing a bunch of demand for this. RWAs are just going parabolic right now. And it's just a bit of a pain trade to be stuck in some of these crypto trades as they go lower. And the more it continues, the more people I think are starting to lose somewhat of a faith. But you know, you come to a place like this, you can see through it. Like I can see that gold, Bitcoin's correlation to gold does feel like it's going to come back at some point this year, and I think it will come back very aggressively. And I think that will drive things higher. But it's just been another pretty painful week.
One thing with crypto is that it takes 2 daily candles for Bitcoin to retrace towards on the upwards all the gains that it missed on.
Yeah.
So that's also something not to forget, right? When I interviewed Tom Lee, he was saying something about Ethereum. He goes, listen, I'm happy buying as much ETH as possible closer to $3,000 because our average is going down and we're accumulating and we're bullish. But don't forget that all those gains can be made back in a couple days in crypto, and he's right about that.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I was bullish for the breakout last week.
So
Me and you both were, and it just disappointed me that it just kind of broke through. I had that trade where it was like, right, I think it break up to 4K from around 3.3K. Even on this show last week, I was saying it, and then literally overnight, I'd actually been like, I've just been stopped out, like, because it hit 3,200, and that was my level to get out of a bunch of it, which was painful, but it is what it is. I still think it's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Davos. There's been a few headlines, obviously, at Davos, more than I kind of expected, actually, but because a lot of people seem to be there. Obviously, Greenland, they seem to have some sort of preliminary deal. But the stuff about crypto was mainly on the back of the market structure bill. I think there's still some hope that there could be a bill, although it's definitely going to be delayed for a few weeks. The main sticking point seems to be about this yield narrative on stablecoins and how tight the language is.
Yeah.
But it feels like Coinbase might play ball, and that will mean that we can come back to the table. So hopefully that's still on the cards. The other big headline I saw, though, was from Larry Fink, where he was talking about getting behind one blockchain. I thought it was a very interesting narrative, and most people read that as being, look, we're really going to support this on ETH. And rightly or wrongly, BlackRock have been one of the biggest bulls for crypto for the last 2 years. Whatever they have done has generally been pretty positive for the prices in that ecosystem. It seemed from that speech like he was indicating, we're just going to go with ETH here, and we're going to try and encourage everyone to do that too. What do you think about that?
I'm actually the most bullish I've been on ETH in like years. And for the reason that I would just name you why some narratives I feel are dying or dead now officially. Not Bitcoin, of course, but it's definitely not a digital gold. Let's just put that aside for now. I think we're beyond that. But while there's like a quantum computing risk on that I know a lot of core OG Bitcoiners want to not talk about, but it's a real problem. If ETH manages to solve for quantum computing and becomes that like layer for both privacy, security, but also for these RWAs and tokenization of assets, I think ETH is going to have one of the strongest narratives in all of crypto. And if these players are all getting behind it, you have SharpLink who's going to acquire up to 5%, the perfect alchemy of 5% for Tom Lee by this summer, BlackRock's going to keep buying. If ETH manages to like stick to that narrative and really dominate the attention without losing it to another L1, I think long term, like I'm not talking about 2 weeks, like I'm talking like the next couple of years, Ethereum is actually going to have the like sharp rise. And it makes the perfect sense because while most of crypto is losing their principles and narratives, I actually like when Vitalik, even Vitalik feels like he's back to his core roots, its core principles of Ethereum. If you've read his last few articles, like they're really about that. Yeah. Crypto is freedom. We're finally talking about that again, right? Whereas like we lost that to the institutionalization of crypto in a way. And so I'm really bullish on like what I'm seeing done. And then you don't need L2s anymore. Like Ethereum fees, L1 are abysmal, like sub 1 penny, while the transactions, as a matter of fact, are hitting all-time highs in the last week. So sure, price is not great, but you always tell me price follows narrative. And I don't think I've seen a stronger narrative on Ethereum since NFTs in 2021.
It does seem to, and when I went long, I went long ETH because I did feel like it has the strongest narrative, both from the DAT perspective, but also from just the feeling around the community. Interestingly, Railgun, I saw even today that they're introducing their 0ZK stuff on ETH. And it feels like they may also be getting not a step ahead, but they're definitely on top of the privacy narrative too, which is still one of the main narratives which is strong in crypto. Like, how are we going to make these L1s still have privacy? And it's definitely something that Vitalik continues to support. So out of the L1s, just reading between this, it feels like ETH is going to be the one that has the most support. Yeah. It is the best. Like, Solana has its own uses, and ETH has its own, that's it. It's funny that you mentioned the quantum thing, because it came up yesterday as well on Rail's speech, and for me, it feels like a narrative right now. obviously we're talking about something that could be many years away, and it's nation states that would really be the ones to worry about with this technology.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder, the nation states that have access to quantum, would they really do that? At the same time, it is a louder and louder narrative. We saw Jefferies, which is a pretty well-known US investment bank, essentially, or we put out a lot of research on crypto. They withdrew their support for Bitcoin ahead of this. There's some talk about that it would only affect, I think it's 6 million Bitcoin, and which is still a decent amount, but you'd have to, and there's ways to kind of prevent this if you upgrade your wallets or this, that, and the other. But some of the older wallets which are not touched would definitely be a worry. Right now, what I would say is Bitcoin has a narrative problem because that is only getting louder.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's now gotten to the stage where even if it is remote, they do need to start talking about how to protect as much Bitcoin as possible.
And the core desk can't agree on anything, which sucks, right? Like, I think this speaks volumes that OG Bitcoiners have only been net sellers. And that's the only thing I'm looking at. It doesn't matter how much ETFs are buying because ETFs are selling just as much. Like, ETFs sold like $800 million worth last week. But the week before they bought $800 million. So it doesn't matter, it's net, it's neutral.
Yeah.
But OG Bitcoiners have only been selling, dude. And it can't just be because of this 4-year cycle.
Well, yeah, we're beyond the 4-year cycle now.
Yeah. So they're still selling. There was $6 billion worth of sell pressure on top of $2 to $4 billion buy pressure, right?
So yeah, I would continue. I think the Bitcoin community has to face this a bit more head on. Whether they want to believe it or not, they have a narrative issue right now, and that can be important. Like, I am not going to sit here, and I'm sure you're not either, and say I understand quantum.
I don't. Actually, I do not understand it, but I know the threat is enough.
Right, but you know the narrative is there.
Yeah.
And if the narrative is there, then it can affect a lot more people than...
There's a lot of much smarter people than me that I follow that are OG Bitcoiners that have been very vocal about this and that are really begging these OG Bitcoiners to start caring.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that if they're saying it, I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So I think that could be one of the reasons for the underperformance. Because I still believe in the digital gold narrative, but if that's there, and alongside maybe the end of the 4-year cycle, then maybe it's something we need to fix. There are a number of different firms who are talking about the idea that they have a fix for a lot of the older wallets, but maybe not. You'd have to do some sort of an upgrade, and so I think it is. If people are prepared, like you could get that 6 million number down to like 1 million,
perhaps,
and then you're talking about 5% of the supply. Is that enough to cause a massive underperformance?
And those are going to be buyers stepping in for that.
Exactly. But I think when people talk about, 20 to 30% of the supply potentially affected by this, I still think it's...
I think it'll get solved. It just needs the devs to kind of agree on something.
Yeah. But yeah, it does still feel like ETH is still the narrative. And I've been... Whenever I feel like the market's about to turn, that's the first coin I've been turning to buy. It's still held up even okay. I mean, a little bit weakness.
3,000-ish, right?
Yeah,
something like
but
that.
compare that to Solana and some of the other L1s, it's definitely held up on this kind of rug of altcoins.
Well, it's got the institutional bid at least.
Yeah.
That's also something I like, is that it's got a constant bid.
The other thing that we saw this week was the ICO meta and kind of the meme coin meta both took a bit of a shot to the kneecap. With the ICO meta, we had Trove, and we had Space, and both of these were ICOs. Trove is probably a very well-known one. They were meant to be doing perp trading on collectibles, perp trading on Hyperliquid.
You got all the.
Yeah. It had everything.
Let me guess, Dubai. I'm kidding.
Well, you could trade perps on your Charizard card.
Which is on paper sounds sick.
Which sounds interesting. They tried to do an ICO, seemingly were oversubscribed.
Yeah.
Looks like they basically walked away with the funds. They didn't really put the money into the LP. They shifted chains last minute. There's
the hype, like.
There's a big inquest. Yeah, they got some locked hype. I think part of an ecosystem grant, and then Space, which is another one, which is a prediction market, I believe, which you kind of know.
Yeah.
They took something like 5x the soft cap on theirs and got a lot of FUD. Now, I've not been that bullish on ICOs for a while. I generally tend to find that they are projects which they don't fail the sniff test of equity investment, but they just, as a product, they just lead to a lot of short-term holders coming in, looking for a quick trade, and it doesn't really build community around your product. So we've got a lot of, like, I would say, C and D tier level projects coming in and do it. We saw Football.Fund did a decent one recently.
Football.Fund, yeah, because they care.
But I mean, we do our daily show, and I've largely been like, look, I don't want any of these guys because I think this could all end up pretty bad. And
same for the memes.
You know, I'm sure all these people contacted us for our daily show. All the time,
yeah.
Right. And then for the memes, we had the Bags app, which has been the app which essentially allows creators who are not maybe involved in crypto the ability to benefit from a meme coin created from either their IP or a meme that they are like involved in. And recently we saw a couple of those related to like AI researchers. One was Gastown, and then we had another one called Ralph this week. Both of those went from tens of millions down to 1 million within a day after the dev sold or basically decided that they weren't going to continue to help the product. Out of those two, are you interested in it at all? I know you sometimes like trading around a bit, but it does feel as though some of these rugs were meta ending. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never bought a Bags token. I actually don't like them, but it's nothing. It's a personal thing. I'm not saying they're all bad. I even said that to the FOMO chat, right? Not on the show, but I told that to Danny too not long ago. I was like, I'm not really a big fan of that ecosystem. For some reason, I'm like that. Like, for example, for perp dexes, I'm only using Hyperliquid and all roads lead back to it, in my opinion. For meme coins, all roads actually do lead back to Pump Fund.
Right.
Like, Pump Fund tokens somewhat seem to be a little better in a way, right? And they don't have the, like, there's something about the Bags way of doing things I think is not working. And I can't quite put my finger on it.
Maybe we'll describe that a little bit. So let's say you
can make a token for Farokh.
Yeah.
I go and claim, let's say they run it up to millions of dollars.
They normally go into that creator and say, hey, there's a coin here which we have created for you. All you have to do is claim the fees.
But by claiming it, you're
endorsing it.
Endorsing it.
It's generally seen as, whereas before we'd have this crazy PvP meta, now it's become this, right, if they endorse it or they claim the fees, that is the coin. So it was kind of in response to the PvP of every new meme coin, there'd be 5 versions of the same meme coin. This was like, right, we're going to make sure the creator gets his fees. The only issue, and to be honest, like, I can kind of see why that makes sense. You know, if we've seen with, like, we knew we were involved in meme coins last year. I remember Peanut, I remember Chill Guy. You think of both of those, where the owner of that, of the IP would have benefited from something like this and would be able to claim the fees. But then the actions following that, they're not really governed, and it seems as though they not only claim the fees, but they have access to the supply, and then they go through and like start dumping it.
It should probably be just the fees. Yeah, no, it's a weird one. Because also, picture this: you're some like new dev, you're starting this thing, you claim the fees, you made $500,000. Of course, you're gonna sell. Yeah. So that's what they're doing. Like, this is life-changing. Like, I think because we're desensitized to money in this space. Guy made $350,000 in 2 days. You think he's not going to dump it?
Yeah.
Hello? Like, we're not talking about a dev that works for Anthropic here.
Yeah.
We're talking about some like dev that's working from home on Claude. Like, not to demean them.
No, it's true.
But the successful devs don't need to claim a Bags token. The successful devs are getting hired for $100 million to go work at Meta. You know what I mean? Like, and I think people don't realize that. They work for Anthropic. They work for whatever other AI companies, they're OpenAI, all these companies. They don't need to go into a freaking Bags token, right? But then I like some little ones. Like, for example, the only one I like, which I own none of, so I can speak freely about, is that tomato thing, right? And I thought it was funny, right? The guy's trying to grow tomatoes using Claude, and then the only reason I liked it more because Claude shouted it out on X, right? The actual app. And he's trying. Now, will it be successful? We'll see. But again, that's a Pump Fund token, so it's different tokenomics, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'm very wary. I did write on Twitter that I do think that AI Meta Part 2 could be more interesting because we could see more different, like, not that AI is better than last year. You could see better things come out, but I don't know about buying the first token claimed on, you know.
Yeah, look, I think we are just trying to find better models for meme coins because the previous models were always. It always
Are we
felt,
trying too hard?
It always felt too extra. I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm just trying to tell you the
Yeah.
market is seemingly
Yeah.
trying to find the best model for meme coins, and I think it was really the PvP.
Yeah.
You know, I own this coin, and you find out there's another coin with a slightly
Yeah.
different name, and there's a different cabal behind it, and this was like, right,
Crazy.
we're gonna try and coalesce around that, or one coin, and that would be better.
Yeah.
But the product itself, yeah, it's pretty nihilistic, right? Like, it's not like any of these coins have really had long-term value.
Yeah.
It's
Meme
really
coins
just
is-
a better way of doing a pump and dump, essentially. But the market seems to still be focused on it. I mean, I've been shocked at how much people that I see in the space for many years
You know.
are kind of coming back and really getting invested in these sort of meme coins again, just and falling it for it every time.
Every
we had
time.
we had like 4 or 5 different.
In the last week.
Yeah, we had like the Mr. Beast coin.
That was funny.
We had Ralph. We had the
The other dev there, yeah, I know what you mean.
Gastown.
Gastown. That was crazy.
Right. And then before that, we've had like the Creator Coin meta with Nick Shirley. And it just feels like the same thing each week. It's like, I just don't really know if we are ever going to find the right model for this stuff to ever create value.
Yeah. I don't know.
And people seem shocked by it every single time it happens. But
Yeah, I'm not shocked, yeah. But people are. It is what it is. I mean, meme coins are never going to be what they were in 2020, 2021, and before that. Because they actually took developing skills to make them before on Ethereum.
Yeah.
And it was expensive. So I think that's why there was a barrier to entry to creation of meme coins. And by removing the barrier to entry, if anybody can do something, then
Yeah, look, I think meme coins, we're gonna continue to see these sort of stories.
Yeah.
Altcoins didn't have a great week. The privacy meta coins all kind of fell from,
Yeah.
even Monero seemingly went back down
Did
to
it
like
again?
500 area
Yeah.
from 800 at one stage. So even that one didn't have a great week. NFTs has been a bit more mixed. I think it doesn't really seem to be facing the brunt of whatever sell-off there is.
they're already so low.
Yeah. We had Moonbirds doing potentially.
Did it launch?
I think it's going to be launching imminently, just from the
Nice.
commentary around it. And that space still seems a little bit better. The people that I've been speaking to here this week, everyone's still very proud to tell you they're involved in NFTs and their NFT bags. And
Yeah.
I spoke to like 3 or 4 different people who were like, you know, this is where I think the focus of
What's the
market-
most fun?
Yeah, exactly.
It's way more fun than meme coins. In
Yeah.
terms of community, at least.
Yeah, and that's still the space where I get genuinely excited
Yeah.
that stuff could come back, and it doesn't feel like
No.
the pump and dump stuff. It feels like
People
wow,
should launch NFT collections.
people are spending many months building out some of this sort of
I
stuff.
genuinely think people should get back to launching the NFT collection.
Right.
Pump Fund should probably add an NFT collection starter to their website
Yeah.
or some shit. Like, I'm
But
serious.
It just means people. I mean, you remember the old days of NFT collections too. There would be thousands of ones every few days. Now it feels like it's really just built around a few, but there's a lot more diligent building around them, which kind of
Yeah.
gets me more excited. So, if I was to get the brightest spots for me still in crypto right now are ETH and ETH kind of OG NFT collections, or NFT brands which are building
Yeah, or like REKT.
alongside coins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, I mean, I do start to get very bullish on Hyperliquid around these sort of levels.
I know it's dangerous. I'm getting too bullish again, and I don't like that because then I.
Well, I just feel like the age of the perp is here,
Yeah.
and you have Lighter, you have Hyperliquid, and you have Aster as like the 3 big ones
Yeah.
in terms of volume. Hyperliquid still feels like the one that the community care about, and there's a lot of technical selling right now.
Yeah.
Of big whales. I look at that one and I think there could be a trade.
Yeah. If the market doesn't go to zero.
If the market doesn't go to zero, luckily I haven't got the screen up right now, so I don't know.
No, we're
if-
still good.
Yeah, we haven't gone to zero.
Not
Normally
yet.
Fridays when we're going
Yeah,
live
you just wait. You just
Yeah.
wait for that. No, we're looking at 90 right now, I think.
on Sol.
90,000 Bitcoin, which is big.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Those to celebrate $90,000 Bitcoin. 229.60, 128.
Okay.
You know, BNB's held 900 this entire time, eh?
BNB is a different trade.
REKT is up against nicely.
Binance applied for an EU license last minute. They're going to try and go through Greece.
I love that.
I'm still
Hype is up 5% today. Outlier. Like
I said last week, the ones that I would be looking out for are ETH NFTs. Hype and BNB would be close after that. I think both of those are interesting trades.
XMR 521. We called the bottom yesterday on the plane.
I am a little bit more wary on Solana though.
Yeah.
I have to say, just because of those comments by BlackRock, I was like, with the coalescing around on one chain, if Solana's trying to be partly a meme coin chain, partly a payments and tokenization chain, I thought it was just interesting to see the institutions saying, look, we're going to, the main institution saying.
But Davos was super bullish crypto. Like even you heard CZ's remarks about AI versus crypto. You heard Brian's remarks, pretty much schooling everybody, schooling people about big crypto being, digital money, and really taking a stance against banks. Trump did mention the Clarity Act in his Davos speech.
Yeah.
Talking about how he would like to see it pass, and he has to get that to pass before the midterms. So
we went to Davos 2 years ago.
See, we did.
And I remember going and
we missed the best year.
And it was like crypto was the side event that
in a corner
it was meant to be doing its own like special event
in a pub.
If you've ever been to Davos, it's essentially just like pubs on a high street. And the crypto events were there, and this time we didn't feel like that at all.
No,
everyone was invited to the top table.
Yeah.
You had Brian Armstrong sparring it out with like ECB chairs, and
destroyed them too.
Trump mentioning crypto in his
the big speech. Lutnick, Fink.
Yeah.
Like Lutnick, Fink, Trump, Armstrong, CZ, all of them at the main stage in Davos. Really, I thought they represent. I actually thought. A lot of people say, "Oh, we need more main characters in crypto. Oh, we need more of this." No, we don't need more SBF characters and Do Kwons just because, or Suju because it's more. Maybe it's more fun on timeline. It's true.
Yeah.
But we have good people representing us in the international level. Like they did well.
Big people. For sure.
Like I know, because like some people don't like Brian, some people don't like CZ for some reason. Some people don't like Trump. Some people don't like Fink. But they were good stewards of crypto in Davos, at least this time around. I followed it very closely, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, for it to be all the major, the top brass of the Trump White House, and also many different business figures. Like Larry Fink was up there with Ken Griffin, who runs Citadel, talking about tokenization. You think like, wow, like
we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere now. What does it mean for my Farokh bag? And I always make that joke. I don't know, but for the future of this industry, but also like approaching this industry as a trader and as a founder has nothing to do with one another. As a trader, I would probably feel very defeated right now, and tired and depressed because seeing what we said, right? Silver, all this stuff, I'd be like, damn it. As a founder, I'm like, dude, prediction markets are soaring, tokenization is soaring, my industry is booming. Everybody wants a piece of us. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, Monday, I definitely felt like, it was like I really felt like this was going to be the week. Everything else was settling down. We were even after the first Green Line headlines, we were rallying.
We rallied, but when I saw we couldn't sustain that rally, that's why I didn't go back in the market.
Yeah.
We couldn't even break 90.4K. I'm like, what the hell? Call me when we're back above 94K end of week, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see this a good weekend, hopefully futures open green on Sunday, but the thing is, it's nothing to do with Greenland, I think. First of all, the situation in Iran is about to escalate more than it ever has. Yeah. There's more troops right now around Iran than there's ever been. It's more than both Iraq and Afghanistan combined. In terms they just sent another 25,000 Delta Force members, allegedly. And so something is about to happen.
Not 25,000. They haven't got 25,000 in Delta Force.
It's insane. It's like
maybe SEALs. Maybe
SEALs. Yeah, something like. Anyways, I'm not an expert, right? Yeah. But there's more troops that's ever been in the Middle East. The threats are getting stronger. I mean, Trump said an Armageddon.
Yeah.
He uses an armada. So he said there's an armada of troops around Iran. So there's that to keep in mind. And then there's, I'm not an expert on this stuff, but the Japan stuff, obviously, you keep an eye on. But that always gets fixed, right? It's funny. They'll put a Band-Aid on it.
It gets fixed by them probably having to print a lot of money.
When are we going to print money?
You can't have Japan's debt to GDP and have high bond yields. They're going to have to fix it somewhat.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm still not too excited, but
yeah. Let's talk about prediction markets a little bit.
Let's do that.
Because you've continued to see them hit all-time highs, I think, in terms of volume in January. A lot of this is driven by sports, and that's causing a few issues in the US. But how's it been over the last month and a half since we spoke in terms of prediction markets? It feels as though whenever I talk to you about it, everyone in crypto opens their door because they want to be involved in prediction markets. Yeah,
I mean, from the consumer and user perspective, I think, everybody still loves them. It's fun, it's cool, it's a new product, it's a very good onboarder as well. And we have a lot of fun markets, right? So people really like that. On the Myriad side at least, we're seeing a growth in users and a decline in volume because, got rid of a lot of there's a lot of unfortunately prediction markets have the problem of wash trading problem. And so we got rid of a lot of it, which is good, but we've seen a growth in net users. So we announced a partnership with Liberty. We're the first prediction market to announce USD1 pools, which is awesome. We have more to come. And we've announced our Myriad wallet, which is going to be powered by MoonPay. So there's still that. I'm saying this to say, look at the people that are coming to us for these. We also announced that we're going to be working, on some stuff with the Ton Foundation. So there's a lot of interest in this segment of crypto, and behind the scenes, what's awesome, and obviously you'll have a much better look than what I can talk about on a recorded, show about what's going on behind the scenes of Myriad. You see, obviously, but the institutional demand for prediction market is our phone is always ringing. Whether it's to talk with digital asset treasuries, whether it's to talk with large exchanges, whether it's to speak with some of the biggest investors in this industry, they're constantly trying to invest in this new economy and constantly trying to get a piece of them. Prediction markets are Coinbase acquired a prediction market and are going to launch their own natively. Robinhood, of course, already do the prediction contracts with Kalshi, but they acquired an exchange, LedgerX, in order to launch their own and partner with SIG. I know a lot of exchanges are trying to acquire prediction markets and partner with them. So it's just becoming, it's an asset class. That's why I always said, stop comparing prediction markets to meme coins. You're insulting them. Prediction markets are multi-trillion-dollar asset class. They're futures contracts that you'll be able to trade. Actually, speaking of the gathering, last night I was at one of the dinners, right? You were at a different one, and I was at one of them. And this lady, she's got 2 kids my age, so you can imagine, the age category she's in. Very kind. And she was telling me, I was on Robinhood. She's a huge fan of Robinhood, which tells you a lot about Robinhood.
Yeah.
And she was like, I could trade these contracts, because we were talking about AI, of which AI company or something will be worth the most, whether it's Gemini, OpenAI, etc. And I was like, well, this is what I do. Yeah. She's like, oh, really? And she was like, that's powered by Kalshi with Robinhood. You can predict this now, but that's also what I do through our media company. And she knew about him already. She doesn't need to know about the 10th iteration of, Farokh, but she knew about prediction contract, and she called it contracts that you can buy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool yesterday. And that just goes to tell you that prediction markets are just going to become part of daily life, right? This is why FanDuel's all in. This is why DraftKings all in. This is why everybody's getting involved. This is why Kalshi's getting attacked left and right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's people lobbying against Kalshi and Polymarket, right? And there's a reason why they're getting so much attention. So
I think the main issue has been that they've gone after, particularly Kalshi's gone after sports. And to me, there is an established regulated industry there.
Of course.
But if you are creating, we've seen this on elections, and you're creating markets which weren't there before, and that traditional bookmakers were not doing, I think it's super interesting.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Which bookmaker was ever giving you odds on which would be the strongest AI model?
Nobody,
right?
Will Elon acquire Ryanair for real? Yes or no? We have
right.
That. People love it. It's just fun stuff like this.
And I do think that's going to be the number one onboarding tool. You can see it. You can see the way that it's been set up with the percentages. It's very easy to see how to get involved, and I think I am fully in alignment that prediction markets are going to be massive.
As long as they keep serving truth and not fake news, then we're going to be in a good place, right?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be a truth machine, and then sometimes they're used for the wrong reasons. But I think that as long as we keep going down that route, like they're very good. You know, gosh, like we even saw recently for other elections in different countries, like prediction markets had it right. So it's like, there's like, you know, there's still this like really important element of truth in prediction markets that I think you can't ever take it away from people once they use it.
Yeah. I think, again, that's been one of the bright spots. That and payments. Like whenever I speak to anyone in the payments industry, we had Rain, who's a credit card company, raised at like $2 billion.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we know the MoonPay team very
yes,
well.
They're killing it.
And we know swaps and I bet so many payments companies in crypto are just like, this is the best period of my life right now. And prediction market people are also saying that. And then everyone else in crypto is kind of on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, because they're still buying.
Which just seems so utterly ridiculous to me.
I would really love to see a reversal on prices, like one of those aggressive 2-week moves, not like one day, to really change that sentiment.
Well, it kind of reminds me of when we were involved in NFTs, and then when you notice that the group chat is stopping trading something, that kind of says a lot. It normally needs a period of bloodletting, let's say, and then people come back.
The group chats are trading small again, right?
Right.
Like you've seen a few tokens go to 10 million, then 50 million, then you had that white whale go to 200 million, and then you're starting to see more appetite. That Seeker, the Solana Seeker phone.
Yeah, that went to 400 million.
$400 million. Like, there are things going on. Unfortunately, you have to get out of them the second you're up.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But do you think we're going to, once the rotation, there's going to be a rotation from these, like, gold, copper, like these things back into crypto at some point? Or even the markets, like the M2 money, like, will it just go back, the liquidity flow back into crypto at some point?
It's kind of weird because I feel like commodities are going through their meme stock moment at the moment.
Yeah.
Or meme coin moment. Like, if you read all the the chats of complete degenerate Zoomers, they're talking about like cornering the copper supply and the silver supply. There is some truth to that, but it's interesting that like that has been, they are literally memes now of like where, like, oh, you know, I'm rotating my silver bags into copper, I'm rotating them into, these are markets which have been established for, you know, tens, hundreds of years. Yeah. And suddenly people are looking at them under, I think, AI projections of use cases and going like, right, AI is going to use this much silver, this much copper, this much palladium, you know, EVs are going to use this much of them all too. And you get like these crazy expectations, and then now mixed with like all of crypto starting to trade it. RWAs have come to Robinhood and all these sort of like trading venues that people use for day trading. I actually think it can last longer.
Okay.
Like a lot of macro traders were looking at silver and saying, oh, you know, this, you know, whenever this happens with commodities, they come right back down to earth. I would look at silver and actually compare it to like the GameStop chart.
Dude, it's so
because
nuts.
that's kind of what I think is happening.
I mean, it's $100.
It's not a fundamental trade, and I think people, from an industry which is very fundamental. You know, like when you're trading commodities, it's a case of lots of technicals, like who's moving what, but also supply-demand projections and like big, very complex models often on things like weather and projections of demand and supply, and like there are some very smart commodities traders, and everyone assuming that those are the people who are still trading this, and it's actually not. It's the guy with $500 in his Robinhood account, and there's millions of them,
dude,
and they're
FedEx
all
drivers are trading silver right now.
Right, you said this the other day, right? Like somebody was trading like, who was it? I was speaking to somebody who said that their Uber driver was trading silver.
Yeah. And until they're trading crypto, we're not seeing a return to that.
But I think that what I'm basically trying to say is I think that influx of traders all trading one thing kind of tells me that they can last a little bit. So yeah. I've publicly been buying gold, which I've said. I think gold I still like because if I'm in Japan right now, I'm probably thinking they're going to debase the hell out of me, and I still like the debasement trade. I think gold will be the big
But
beneficiary
that's the
of
problem,
that.
right? The debasement trade is not crypto right now.
It's not. So I still like that trade. So I still like gold, but there's no doubt in my mind that if all the group chat is trading palladium, copper, platinum, and silver, you're going to see meme stock style moves in that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of important. And it's starting to happen a little bit in AI stocks too. Things like SanDisk. I don't know if you've seen this stock.
Dude, it's up like
It's done like a
18x.
10x from last year. And it feels as though that audience, the longer and longer crypto underperforms, which was the only venue to make 100x, and it still is like a venue we can make 100x. The longer and longer it underperforms, the more and more these sort of non-fundamental or like lightly fundamental traders start to move in and think they can corner a market or a stock or a commodity and full send it.
So insane.
So I think silver hit 100 today. I don't know where it flips gold, but like, I also just think like throughout the rule book, when it comes to this sort of stuff, like it's not acting like it should.
It's not.
And you have to live in a world where that can go on for a lot. Because also the supply side of often these minerals, it is fairly inelastic. Like, it's not that easy just to spin up a silver mine, you know? That there will obviously be active ones which can increase supply, but like, there's a world where you can corner that market for quite a while, you know?
That's hilarious.
And I think that's like a funny move here. So I still think it's like, I still think crypto group chats will be trading tokenized silver and tokenized platinum and for the next few months.
Yeah.
I really do.
All right.
So I wouldn't expect for that rotation to happen instantly. For crypto to kind of come back, I think we need something to break or something to really shift on the money printing. And I think Japan is setting itself up for that
Yes.
right now. So
When is US going to print?
I would look at that, and there's been a little bit of like, oh, Japan is bad for crypto. I actually think that situation is the biggest bull case for crypto possible on the global scene right now.
Interesting.
Like, I think that the US regulation thing is coming along, and the Clarity Act will help, but I actually think that Japan somewhat breaking would cause Bitcoin, you would hope, would cause Bitcoin to really rally. Similar to what we saw with the regional banks back in 2022, was it, or 2023?
Yeah.
That Japan is a big deal. It's what, 3 to 5% of the global GDP, but an economy like that, realizing that the only way to fix its debt problem is by printing money, that would really, I think, be a big thing for Bitcoin. And hopefully the quantum stuff, you know, that it continues to be an active discussion that people are ahead of. That would be it. Right. I don't know. I think we're kind of at the end. We normally do questions around this sort of time. So
any live questions come in?
yeah.
Nothing? Nothing?
Nothing?
What? No, I'm gonna check myself.
This is tough. We've got a whole day.
OZ says, cheers, gutted, I'm missing it
We've
out.
got a whole day in Miami to enjoy ourselves.
Come on, y'all. No questions, that's BS.
Me and Farokh walked down to Muscle Beach earlier.
Oh, we're looking good. We're looking kind of jacked on this, actually.
Thought about going on to Muscle Beach and then thought against it because everyone was too jacked. So we went and ate some breakfast. But yeah, we're going to be here for the next day. We're going on a catamaran cruise tomorrow. It's going to be epic.
This gathering is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been talking about it for the last 2 months. I didn't come last year, but when I walked into the conference room yesterday for it, I was shocked. It's like 150, 200 people there. And then today we got a bunch of dinners, a bunch of events. So Real Vision events are always a lot of fun.
It's my first one, and I'm really liking it. I'm reading the comments.
We're slightly younger than the crowd, I always tend to find, which is great.
Fun?
Slightly younger than the crowd.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of good fun because everyone's got really good stories.
Like, I like it.
Everyone's got some Chad business which they've just sold, or like they're doing crypto on the side, and you get some really great stories.
I'm trying to see if anybody's got questions. Nope. Someone's showing us H-bar. What do you think about that?
Of course. Brother, the amount of times someone mentions H-bar in the Real Vision community, I have no idea where it's come from. It's kind of funny. There's been a lot of
BTC.
people complimenting about REKT, actually. A lot of people come up and said, oh,
REKT is killing it.
how's REKT Drinks doing? How's OSF doing? Because OSF obviously comes on this show quite a lot and used to be a full co-host, but that's been the other thing. A lot of people ask me, could they buy it in Miami? But I don't think they can at the moment. It's only really in California and parts of the Midwest in terms of physical stores. But
Interesting.
yeah, it's cool to meet a lot of people around that as well.
I love that. Yeah, I'm reading. There's no questions. I'm on the chat. Chat, let us know if there's anything.
Don't worry. We're going to go have a couple of margaritas.
Non-alcoholic for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing dry January, although everybody here is trying to break me.
Alcoholic for me. And we'll see how the day and the weekend unfolds. So
Hell yeah.
thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. Next week, we will be back for another episode of REKT Vision. I think we're going to have another co-host. I'm not sure who it is. Maybe OSF even for that one. But
No way.
maybe.
What an honor.
What an honor, yeah?
Rare.
Oh, there are questions?
There are where are the questions?
Oh, God. Okay, I have been sent some questions. Here we go. Hold on.
I didn't see the questions in the chat.
Arthur did. Okay. Tell us about REKT and recent developments towards world domination from Mike on the RV website. Okay, well, REKT, what I will tell you a little bit of alpha is it looks like they're going to smash through the physical sale records at Giant Eagle, which is the
I saw that.
by smash through, they're going to probably do 10x what was expected. So not until they are going to like annihilate.
The restock is going to be
They
massive.
annihilate the sales records. It looks like they're going to 10x it.
Let's
So
go.
that will hopefully lead to now a massive nationwide campaign.
And more buybacks. 10%
Obviously
buybacks,
more
right?
buybacks. And, I think this week, REKT was one of the best performing coins. It was a very bloody period for meme coins. So everything's looking good. OSF's smashed that physical sales target now, and I think they're going to try and scale that bit of the business. I do think naturally, as it scales, it's going to have to scale a bit more outside of the crypto community.
It has to.
For it to be like a massive success, we can't just sell it on drops to crypto people.
No.
And I think even the holders get that too.
But it's the X Games tonight at 9:30. We saw that, and you're there.
REKT is one of the sponsors of the X
And
Games.
World Star. So what you're seeing is already sort of
right. So increasingly the stuff that they're doing is more Web 2. Yeah. So REKT is
so
one
like
of the.
you can go to the X Games, right? If you're at the X Games, go to the freaking fridge and grab a REKT
Yeah.
guy. You know what I mean? Like it's so what you're saying is he's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing it, and that's it's less. I think last year we basically built a foundation of drops alongside crypto projects. This year is going to be a foundation alongside.
They said they got a lot coming.
Web 2, physical stores, direct to consumer, but they got everything. So
damn. When REKT at 11 Miami.
they're still cooking. Sigma on YouTube. Raul says 100 trillion by 2032. Where will total peak this cycle? I don't have a view on the cycle. So I think my question there, if you're asking me where I think it peaks this year, I think we're at about 3 right now.
3, 5, 4.
I would be really happy if we 2x this year, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think if Bitcoin gets to about 150, and we see a big increase in stablecoins, which I think is the main thing that we're going to see, because RWAs are just going like this right now.
Stablecoin super cycle.
I think there's a world where we get to like 6 at the end of this year. Nobles on YouTube. When will Mando go long ETH again? I think the viewers now kind of know me as a trader, so I have a fundamental view on crypto where I am bullish, but how I set up trades is often trade setups where I look at the upside downside of a trade. I was long ETH at 3,300, and I thought it would break up to 4,000. It went up on Sunday night. It was at 3,600 maybe, just shy of that.
We got close, dude.
500, and I was like, wow, what a great trade. And then I woke up, and it was at 3,200.
Now
think
it's up 3K.
I think similarly, if I saw it break out of a multi-month trend like it did, and it went above that 3,400 level again, I'd look at it. But for now, I hate buying things where I feel like I'm catching a falling knife, because I feel like that's that's where I always lose money because they can really, as 1010 shows, right? Like the liquidity is not there sometimes when things start getting liquidated, and it can be horrific. So ETH is probably my top one that I'm looking at right now, but I think we need some stability and some higher prices for me to kind of get involved. What's the next Mando trade? Good question. So I bought some Monero on the plane yesterday, just because it's one of the few coins that I still see in an upward trend. But I am very wary of that trade still because it feels as though the breakdown in altcoins can be massive. So that's a trade which I bought at 502 on the plane yesterday.
Yeah, it was like that.
It's about 520 now. So if you want to still be in that trade with me, that's a trade. If that breaks down below 480, I'm out. So, but I think it could, if it rallies up to like 600, I think that would be a very normal, even a bounce sort of rally, because it was at 800 to like bounce back up to 600. So that's a trade I like right now in altcoins. REKT, I think, is another one of the very few that's still on a, if you look at longer term or higher time frames, it's still on a bullish trend on a week, on a daily and weekly. So I like that trade. And then outside of that, my number one longs are Google and gold. So those are non-crypto trades, but I like both of them. I think Google's going to be the most valuable company in the world pretty soon. I think OpenAI is about to be a complete disaster, and I think
they keep making the wrong decisions.
And I think Google is going to benefit the most from that. So it also just has great products. So I think that is kind of my trade there. And gold, I just spoke about. Like, I like everyone in the group chat is trading metals, but I also like the debasement trade. And I think gold kind of wins on both of those at the moment. You have any trades at the moment you like, Farokh?
I have none.
No?
I have a lot of REKT. I'm a top 20 REKT holder.
Right.
But since like 2 years. No.
It doesn't feel like a time to have very high conviction.
You close Bitcoin weekly at 94, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm happy to miss the move up.
See, that's because you've been trading with me for so long
exactly.
now.
I got wrecked too much. I also got hit with you on the ETH trade, but
yeah.
That was the first time I lost quite a bit of money where I was not pissed because I had the right trade on, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you have a trade like that, you know your downside every single time.
And I closed at 92.5 and 3,200, so whatever. But it sucks. But it is what it is. There's gonna be another long opportunity, but I don't like it. I like I said, the overhang of war. God forbid the action on Iran, they don't manage to catch Khamenei, and that guy goes nuts, and he knows he's about to die, he hits the red button. Like, I'm not risking my portfolio over that.
Yeah.
Like, they are mad people over there.
You're Persian though, like I feel like your worry about that is high. I don't know if many people are, I mean, I agree with you, I have been seeing all the headlines around the troop
people
build-ups.
I pay attention because I like to pay attention on that, and I think people should be careful.
What is Polymarket saying about if they're going to hit him?
I don't know, but it must be rising, dude. Check it out. Like it must be rising.
I'm gonna check it now. So
it's not.
U.S. strikes Iran. Wow, it has gone up actually.
Yeah, there you go.
So U.S. strikes Iran by the end of February is pretty much 50-50, and that was down a lot, right, at one stage.
Yeah.
That has.
So this is not gonna get any better.
Yeah, because after he kind of, they cleared airspace and they didn't go through with it, it really felt like that wasn't going to happen.
So we'll see, but I'm not risking it over.
Yeah.
We're headline trading again, right? Like in March.
Last year. The market didn't necessarily like the Iran headline as much. Venezuela, it felt like it was kind of a good thing.
That was a positive. I mean,
but this one does feel like it could go both ways.
I mean, if the action is as quick as Venezuela, we're going to pump.
I like you say Venezuela.
Venezuela.
But also a lot of, I mean, you obviously hear about this, but like a lot of the Bitcoin hash rate comes from Iran, right?
There was a point in time where 7% of the hash rate of Bitcoin came from Iran.
Yeah.
Now we can't put a number on how much Bitcoin is owned in Iran, but the biggest miners in the world, private miners in the world, come from Iran because of the energy. But the difference between Venezuela and Iran is that Venezuela, the government owned a ton of Bitcoin. We're talking about 600,000 BTC. In Iran, it's actually private. So it's not the government as much. But when you sanction a country so much, like obviously like it ends up turning towards Bitcoin, which is technically its original intended use, right? So we'll see.
Okay, we've got 2 more. Love Real Vision. What are your top 3 coin picks for 2026?
It's so tough, dude.
Yeah.
BTC, ETH, hype.
Yeah, I would say at this level, ETH is still one that I'm drawn to. I would say Hyperliquid, and I would say REKT are my 3 right now.
I'll do that. Let's do that. ETH, hype, REKT. Because it's also a nice basket, right? It's
Yeah.
a brand meme coin, the utility alt, and then the major.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then finally, Ben's on YouTube, 2026, the brand coin year. Well, who knows? Moonbirds are bringing out their coin. We'll see how that goes.
See?
I think it requires more than just being a meta. Let me put it this way: just bringing out a brand coin doesn't mean it will be successful. I think it requires many months, years of building up a community, and then a product, and then having success with that outside of Web 2 too. Like Pudgy Penguins have done a good job of it, and even then the coin is still having a little bit of trouble. Like it's a lot, but I do think that the teams that I see doing the most interesting stuff is in that world, for sure. Okay, we're going to say goodbye for the second time. It feels like the margaritas are calling. So we will see you again next week. OSF is coming on. Thanks so much for tuning in. For anyone who's at the show or at the Real Vision conference, come up and say hi to us. We're here all day.
Oh yeah.
I've got a session later, and I know you have.
Yeah, 3.
And we're doing bowling with you, hosted by Farokh.
I'm good at bowling. Watch out.
Yeah? Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you again next time. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Peace out.